How's everybody going? Or how's everybody doing? How's the day going? All right. Motivation, inspiration for people this week on setting intentions for ourselves and setting intentions for our better selves. A lot of people seem to think that they get confused with setting intentions and setting goals, and they're completely two different things. So we're going to just briefly discuss that a little bit. Let me get a drink of water. I'm like so dehydrated lately. Oh my goodness. I don't even know why I put that up there to watch myself, but it is what it is. So, okay. The difference between setting goals and setting intentions is setting goals are normally for, like things we want to do short term, long term. Normally we come up with some type of brainstorming plan to get things in motion, to see ourselves or our lives in a different state in the future. Now, setting intentions is dealing with our internal peace and our internal being and how we live our lifestyle, how we choose to live our lifestyle, and the changes that we need to make within ourselves. So I guess from personal experience, before I started making these videos, I did a challenge for myself, which was, I've talked about this before, the Soul Reset Challenge, where every single day I had an affirmation that I read to myself. And affirmations are good to have and good to read and good to tell yourself every single day. But if you don't continue to process that affirmation in your mind and continue to re-say it and replay it, or have post-its all over the walls or on your mirror or whatever it is that you do on a regular daily basis to remind you of that affirmation that you're trying to instill for the day, you completely forget what it is that you're supposed to be doing, like what you're supposed to be focusing on that day. So I'm not knocking affirmations because they're good. That's why I just suggest that if you practice speaking affirmations into an existence of your daily life, then to just have it either saved on your phone or saved in front of you or saved, just somewhere where you can see it and go back to it and fall back onto it throughout the day, so therefore you can keep reminding yourself. So with that challenge that I did, and I read the affirmations every single day, I had the affirmations on my computer, and then I also had it on my bedroom wall, so therefore I could, if I was struggling throughout the day, I could go back and reread it and remind myself of what my intention was for that day. And, they varied from, how I think that day or how I act, but more or less affirmations are to practice a better and a positive way of being for yourself and to others. So, but the intentions that I had set for myself with that challenge was to become in more peace with myself and to learn myself better and to become a better version of myself. And after 30 days of doing that challenge, that's why I documented it, because I was wanting to see how I was in the beginning of the challenge compared to the last day of the challenge. And there was such a significant difference. If nobody else saw it, I knew I saw it within myself. And I learned a lot about myself in the process. So setting intentions is very important on how you word it and how you set your intentions. We all have daily, I guess you could say, what's the term I'm looking for? I can't even think of the term. So for an example, okay, your alarm goes off in the morning, you wake up, you say you get up, you have a cup of coffee or have a cup of tea, check your phone, brush your teeth, get ready. You've got a plan on how you set your day to get your day started. So when you set intentions, that's something you want to do as soon as you wake up, because we only have the day before us. You know, we can't worry about what happened yesterday, and we can't worry and stress about what's going to happen tomorrow. All we have is the 24 hours that's laid in for, before us. So when it comes to setting an intention, you want to be able to tell yourself, this is what type of day I'm going to have, or this is how I'm going to respond to certain matters with my day. And I mean, we're all guilty of it, you know. There's some of us that wake up in the morning and are like, ugh, now I got to go deal with this shitty job, or now I got to go deal with these stupid people, you know. Like, setting intentions is only beneficial if you use positive words and a positive frame of mind about it. If you set an intention to give me the strength to deal with this shitty ass day, you know, then more than likely your day's going to become shitty in some shape or form, and you're just going to get frustrated because you have to deal with it. So you want to replace those negative words with not so much focusing on the things that frustrate you, or the things that you know that you have to deal with, or the things that are out of your control, but you want to practice in a way to where you replace those words with, I need the courage to be calm in frustrating situations, or, you know, give me the wisdom to know how to deal with a complicated conversation, or, you know, it's just, those are just to list a few examples, to replace those negative words with positive words. And tell yourself that all day long. And if you set that intention in the morning, then that'll be your theme for the day. Now, it's very also important to set a different intention every single day. Don't give yourself the same intention every single day, because eventually your mindset and your mentality is going to get tired of you telling yourself that same single thing every day. So you want to change it up. And I promise you guys, just from personal experience, if you set an intention for yourself on a positive scale, you want to focus on what the difference it'll make out of that, not so much worrying or stressing about if it even makes a difference. You want to focus on, is it going, like, how is this going to benefit my day? You want to look at the positive outcomes of it. Now, guys, I know it's not always easy to sit here and to be able to set positive intentions for ourselves depending on our life situations, because our lifestyles can be completely different. The people we deal with are different. Our jobs are different. You know, I know some people wake up every single day and they're just waiting for the end of the day so they can just have it all done and over with. But I feel like you're like wasting your day away if you're trying to rush your day away by not wanting to deal with the things that we have to deal with on a regular basis. For the most part, guys, if you know, we're all different. We all have a way of trying to better ourselves. You know, a lot of people wake up and they pray in the morning. They pray for the gratitude of having the things that they have, for waking up another day, for being blessed to see another day. But I think a lot of people forget to ask for what type of day that they want in return, you know. And when you pray, you want to be specific, you want to be detailed, because, you know, what we speak, our words can be very powerful in a way, you know. So if you focus on the bad things, or the stresses and the worries in our lives, you know, and you wake up and that's what you're focused on, then that's what life's going to give you. So setting intentions, like I said, setting intentions is completely different than setting a goal, because setting intentions, it's like sowing a seed. You know, what do you want? What is important to you? What matters most to you that you want to change about yourself? How you want to change about your lifestyle? You know, how you treat other people, how you love. You know, those are things that you want to focus on, internal things, because goals are external. You know, like for an example, I want to make $10,000 extra this year. You know, like, how do I do that? So setting intention would be, opening my mind up to discovering and learning new things that can get me there, or opening my mind up to receive, the opportunities to be able to make that go for myself. You know what I'm saying? So what I want you all to focus on is, first, start off small. What type of goals do you have for just this month? It can be as simple as, I'm going to change how I eat this month, or I'm going to save some money, or I'm going to do more things with my family. Like the goals, normally goals are something that like are hard to obtain. Sometimes, some goals are like the entree manifestation, like they're hard to obtain. Sometimes they can be a struggle to obtain. That's why like it's very important to set your mental state into a place to where you can obtain that outcome that you're looking for. But if your mind isn't focused on how to obtain that goal, then you're going to fall off track, and it's like putting pressure on yourself. It's like you don't want to put pressure on yourself. You don't want to sit there and grind for that goal, because you're going to be putting pressure on yourself to make it happen. And what happens there is you're going to set yourself up with expectations. In some cases, you set yourself up with expectations, and if something doesn't go the way that you plan or the way that you want it to, then it's going to frustrate you. Then you're going to be mad or upset with yourself because it didn't work out the way that you wanted to. Okay? I mean, I don't set expectations up with myself or anybody else, because I've been trying to learn how to go with the flow of things, the flow of life, letting go of the things that are out of my control. Every single day I tell myself to just grant myself with, how's that saying go? Grant me with serenity for the things I cannot change, courage for the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Okay, guys, very important, because like I say in all these videos, we are only in control of ourselves, but we only have control over certain situations in our life and certain situations in how we deal with life. So, like my intentions with setting, doing these videos is to bring awareness, inspiration to others, because it fulfills me in a way, even if nobody else gets anything off of these videos, like it does something for me internally, just being able to speak my truth and speak who I am and speak what I've went through, like it done something for me. So if I can spread that intention other people's way to be able to make a lifestyle change for themselves, then I feel like it's like a pay it forward kind of act, sort of. All right, so bear with me. Like I said, hey, I'm still struggling every single day, like I got my own way of trying to deal with things as well. So, like I'd say in all of the videos, like for us to work on our inner selves, because when it all boils down to it, I don't think people understand the aspect of what we put out is what we receive. And nowadays, a lot of people are so impatient to get that result. Like, I need to know what's going to happen after this. It's like that sense of urgency, like having to know, needing to know, and not knowing is what frustrates us trying to get further in life or trying to make a difference in our lifestyle. Like, we get so set in a comfort zone, to a point to where like we don't want to see change. And you get so stuck in a certain lifestyle for so long that who wants to change out of something you've been used to, for all these years? And for some it may be working, and for others it may not. And but if you're constantly stressing and worrying about the what ifs and the you know, all the negative matters that could possibly happen out of some type of change that you're trying to make in your life, then that's what you're going to receive in return is negativity, doubt, you know, the impossibilities of making something happen. Patience and everything works. Yeah, you know, like patience is very important because I've learned that that's like probably been something I pray for on a regular is patience, because growing up I was very impatient, you know, like I had to, if I didn't know how something was going to work or how something was going to turn out, then it like drove me crazy until that moment, until like, you know, like until that time or that date that I'm supposed to find something out, you know, like it stayed in the back of my mind whenever that's what we need to refrain from. Like if you got something going on or you got something coming up or you're trying to like, again, set a goal for yourself, don't focus so much on the end. You need to focus on just a day-by-day, step-by-step process. Like it takes baby steps. And once you get to that level of seeing somewhat of some progress, it's like it's like motivation, enthusiasm, like, oh my gosh, you know, like I see where this is falling into place. It may not be a whole lot, but it's a little bit, and I can only imagine how the ending might come out, you know. But again, don't set yourself up for expectations, because if you set yourself up with expectations and it don't go the way you want to, then it's, you know, it kind of like bums you out. Yeah. Anyways, so, but again, don't look at it as like a time scale. Look at it as what you want to do for today. Set those intentions for yourself on a daily basis. Like if it takes, and again, guys, okay, so if we can take the time to wake up, brush our teeth, check our phone, you know, back in the day, we didn't have that option to check our phone to see what messages we got, who's talking about what on social media, checking the news, whatever the case may be. If you get up and watch TV, watch the news for a little bit. If we have the time to take and do those things for just a couple of minutes, then we have the time to set an intention for ourselves. Oh, and I also wanted to add that setting intentions has to come from the heart, okay? Now, if you don't have one or you don't know how to use yours, this may be a little difficult for you. So, it's very important to get to a very peaceful state. Now, if that means go hiding in the closet or the bathroom for a brief few minutes, you know, wherever you can get that quietness. If you have to set your alarm for an extra 5 minutes for the day, I know that's tough for a lot of people. I hit my snooze button a lot. So, you know, I don't set my alarm early. I just wake up and I make sure that I get that little few minutes in that I need to set an intention for my day. But, it's not all about just so much the peace that's around you. It has to be peaceful inside of you. So how do we gain that peace within us? You know, what do we do when we're having a stressful situation or whenever it's chaotic in our lives? Me, personally, okay, breathing's very important with that. If you focus, like, I feel like that helps you focus. Like, if you sit down, you know, like, some people do yoga, some people exercise, some people meditate. I personally, you know, I sit in a spot with my doors closed, away from everybody, away from the kids, away from all the noise, even when there is noise. And I just take a moment and I sit down and, you know, I don't do none of that. None of that, okay? But I do sit down and I make sure that my posture is straight and I just take a few deep breaths. In and out, you know, slowly. Inhale through your nose, exhale out of your mouth, okay? If you do that, it's almost as if You need to focus on from your head to your toes. Okay? Just focus on yourself. Exclude everything out of your moment, out of your life for a minute. Like, I close my eyes and I see a door right now. And I don't know why. So, you take that moment to adjust your breathing, calm your heart rate, take that moment to yourself. When you are calm for that brief moment, repeat that intention to yourself as many as times as you need to. This is what I want for my day. This is the difference I want to make for myself. This is something that I need to do, you know. And remember, replace those negative words with positive words. You know, like that intention has to come from internally. It's not like writing it down on a piece of paper and you just saying it. If you just say it and you're in a frustrated state, it's not going to mean the same as it is when you're telling yourself. You're coming from a place of peace and calmness for just that brief little second or that brief little moment. You tell yourself, you repeat that intention to yourself, and all it takes is a few minutes. Because like I said, if we can sit here and take a few minutes to do all these other things that we do in the morning after we wake up, then we can squeeze that in there somewhere, okay? So repeat that intention to yourself. When you come back to, when you deal with whatever it is that you got to deal with in the morning and then get your day started, do not be so quick to let the struggle or the negative comment from Sad Sally or, the traffic stop that's holding you back from getting to work on time, or the rude text message that you get from somebody, or anything that could get your blood pressure going or get your heart rate jumping. You know, deep breaths. Like, it just feels good to do that, okay? Y'all go ahead, try it. While you're sitting here watching this video right now, go ahead, close your eyes, take a deep breath. It feels great. Look, I would not be telling you all this if it didn't work, okay? So far, this is a great inspirational video. Well, thank you. You know, I mean, praying is good at all times of the day. There's not a bad time to pray. But again, you know, it has to come from internally. You know, if you're just like, blah, 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 you know, and it's just like coming out like that, I mean, it could be coming from a place of wherever all of that's coming from anyways to make you feel that way. But it makes a difference on that state of, it really does. It's like, I mean, I do a little bit of everything. Like, I set intentions for myself. I read scriptures. I read daily devotionals. I mean, I have a little bit of all different types of methods that I try depending on how I'm feeling and what I know works for me. And this may not work for everybody, but the only reason why I'm discussing it is because no matter where we're at in our faith or our spirituality or our lifestyle, no matter where we're at, you know, it's all about working and healing our inner selves. You know, like, I'm a firm believer that you will not get the results that you are looking for in a positive way if you're being negative and down on yourself. You know, like, you have to search for that strength within. And just telling y'all guys, we already have that strength within us. And sometimes we lose sight of who we are and what we're worth. And, you know, that's why, like, step by step, you know, step by step, day by day is my motto. You know, like, I try not to worry about tomorrow's or yesterday's. You know, I try to focus on today and what my goal and my intention and my just my whole outlook on for the day is like that's what I focus on, because I can get bent out of shape if I think about what I got to do 2 weeks from now. Like at any given time, anything can switch up. So that's why, like, I'm sitting here talking about, like, setting intentions for ourselves on a daily basis. And intentions, like, scriptures are great. They really are. And if anybody has a Bible, Psalms, really good for that if you're feeling in the blues. Very, very joyful scriptures to lift your spirits. But again, if you're not really a firm believer in any of that, then that's why, I suggest, searching within on what it is that you want to change within yourself. Because if you don't believe in a higher power or God, then scriptures aren't going to do anything for you. Like, I'm not telling anybody not to read them because they work for me, but I'm not the one to sit here and push any of that on anybody or force it on anybody. But I do believe that it all comes from within. How we perceive our life and how we portray ourselves towards other people and what we receive in return, that's an internal thing. Like, what do you want from somebody? What do you want the world to, not the world, what do you want the life that you are making for yourself to give you in return? That's why you should sow those seeds of kindness, show those seeds of gratitude, show those seeds of patience, sow those seeds of being calm in erratic situations. Like, those are the things that maybe not now and maybe not today and maybe not tomorrow, but eventually down the line, will bless you in the ways that you are looking for. And timing is always on point and not whenever you're waiting for it. So I'm sure I'll get opposing opinions on this, for people who grew up in church and people who read the Bible on a daily basis. That's why, like, I've read the Bible from front to back a few times, but I'm really bad about remembering scriptures. That's why I have a daily devotional book that has scriptures and, like, a layout of what the scripture means that comes from the Bible. I feel like that you can read the Bible so many times and not understand it. You can read the stories and the translations in it as many times as you want to and still not have a relationship with God or Jesus Christ, okay? That's just my personal opinion, because I read the Bible for the very first time probably like 9 years ago. And I was so confused. I couldn't pronounce any of the names correctly, even though I tried. And, I was reading all the stories in it, and I read it from front to back. And once I got done reading it, I was just kind of like, I didn't feel any differently. I guess I was having the expectations to, like, feel differently after reading it, of just the knowing of the stories. But again, if I couldn't remember everything I had just read because it was so much. Like, it took me probably about 4 or 5 months to read it from front to back. And then, I was going through some trials in my life not a couple months ago, but a couple years ago. I picked it up and I read it from front to back again. So then I ended up falling back on just certain chapters that I felt like were good for whatever situation I was going in or going through, and I would go back and I would start rereading certain pieces and parts of it to revive my faith again. Because, sometimes we go through situations in our life that test us and challenge us as to know that, like, what is it all worth? Like, what is the purpose of all of this? So it took for me I personally believe that it takes for a one-on-one conversation with our Heavenly Father to build a relationship with Him. I feel like that the Bible is a learning tool. It teaches you, about the miracles and the stories and the struggles of God and Jesus Christ and everybody else that was in the storyline of back in that time. But none of that, I feel like none of that is of importance if you don't have a one-on-one conversation, you know, through prayer or through congregation, you know, like it takes for you to really I feel like until you fall down on your knees and you've lost everything, you're down to the point to where you don't have nothing to fall back on, then that's whenever you're going to seek that relationship. And when you seek that relationship and you really, really ask and really have faith that he'll show you the way, he does. I mean, I'm living proof of it, you know, and I try to stray away from talking about these on my videos and my lives because it's not always an easy topic to talk about. And I don't, like I said, I don't push spirituality or religion on anybody, you know, because I feel like first and foremost, it's important to just get in touch with ourselves. And when we get in touch with ourselves, then that's whenever it raises our awareness of our spirituality. So, you know, to each their own. And we're all just trying to find our way. And I feel like that it all starts within ourselves, because me being a child of God, I feel like that I have God within me, and we all do, and it takes for us to find him. That's why, like, he's close to us at all times, you know, like he is there, he watches everything, he, you know, he's not just a name or our creator. He is within us. And don't get it mistaken, I don't think we are God. I don't think that we have that power, and I don't think anybody wants that type of control and power, but there are some people who try to control life and control the things that happen in life with people, and that is I feel like that's a dark thing. Like, you don't want that, because there's just too much going on in everybody. There's too many people in this world, in this universe, too many creations to sit there and want to control all of that, you know, and to sit here and look outside and think that all that we have surrounding us, that was not man-made. That came and was built from something much higher and much greater than us. And when you understand that, then you'll start to believe a little bit differently. I mean, I'm just a spiritual person, guys. Like, some days it's really hard to explain the wonders that God has blessed me with, and the love that he has bestowed upon me, you know, to be able to love myself again. But I had to know his love before I could love myself, because he is the one who showed me that. Like, my faith, guys, has been tested so many times throughout my years of life, and so many challenges have defeated me, but I never gave up, you know, because I knew that there was a purpose for me, for others, you know. Like, I never stopped believing, even whenever every weapon formed against me tried to prosper, and they did not, you know. And my life isn't over, so I know that the challenges and the obstacles are still going to be in front of me, and they're still going to come, but it's all on how we look at ourselves, you know. Like, if we lack all that confidence and that self-worth within ourselves, then life's going to get the best of us. So why not work on ourselves first, so therefore we can defeat everything that is before us? Hey, I don't care. This is me, and this is my life, and this is how I live it, and I do not expect anybody to agree what I agree on. So, you know, I just know that believing in myself, loving myself, setting positive intentions for myself on how I view my life and how I view other people has made a difference in my life. You know, it's made a difference in who I am, how I speak to people, how I act. I mean, all of that. And of course I have days that are troublesome and that make me slip up, and I don't really know what I'm going to do next. But I can't give up, you know? Like, when you're a parent, you can't give up. Even when you're not a parent, you can't give up. You know, even if you don't have anybody in your circle, you don't give up on yourself. You know, like that's the main important part. Is I've had people come to me and just not want to, just don't have, feel like they don't have nothing to live for. And I feel like, aren't ourselves enough to live for? I mean, we got enough going on in this world, then why, I don't want to say why would somebody feel that way, because like I said, everybody's going through their own battles and struggles. So it's all a mindset. I say this every single time. I think that's like my main focus point on all of these videos, is just changing our perspective, changing our mindset, you know, believing again, having hope within ourselves that we can prosper, you know, and not so much think about it in a wealthy way, but in a abundant way. And abundance means any shape or form of rich, guys. And that's just not, you know, because there's a lot of things in this world that make people happy, and then there's a lot of things in this world that people got that don't make them happy. So I just want to be happy within myself, and I just want others to be happy within themselves, you know? Like, when you love yourself and you know your worth, that's abundance right there, period. Like, because it could matter, it wouldn't matter if you're living small or living big. You know you got you, and that's all that matters. I didn't want it to get all touchy and sensitive, you know? This is just who I am, and it is what it is. Yeah, I've noticed that I've pushed certain people away out of my life, you know, and when you start living in your truth and you start actually like seeing more for yourself and opening up possibilities for yourself and stop living small and living big, and I don't mean living big like going after extravagant stuff. I'm talking about like living big in your purpose, like living in your calling and who you are, and trusting and believing that you are here for a reason and you don't care what nobody says. Yeah, it's gonna scare the people away who don't have that within themselves. Like, the people who lack that type of esteem and worth in themselves is going to feel threatened. They're going to, you know, pick and poke at the people who are doing okay with themselves, you know, or are maintaining and handling life better than the next person, which is sad because, you know, like, people like me, like, all I want is for people to get out of that rut that they're in so they can see their true purpose and come up out of that, you know, and stop following others. Like, I remember back in elementary school, you know, like, are you going to be the follower or the leader? I'm not trying to follow people, because anytime I've ever followed people, I mean, I ain't never really been a big person, like, to do what other people are doing. But anytime I ever followed somebody or did what somebody else was doing, it always got me in trouble. So, I mean, again, to each their own. But I feel like we are all leaders, and we all have that within ourselves if we would just, you know, take a step back and say, you know, like, I am who I am. I am, you know, I am I don't know what I was trying to say with that, but whatever. You know, it's just, we are individuals, you know, like, there's already enough stereotypes and putting people in categories nowadays. You know, it's time for us to stand on our own and say, this is who I am, take it or leave it, love me or hate me. Please don't hate me. Just, if you don't like what I'm doing, keep it to yourself, you know. Or even when you get to a higher purpose in your life, then all of that is irrelevant, and all you want to do is just pray for the next person, because you can't, you know, like, it doesn't even bother you no more. I just said this earlier too, you know, when you get to that point to where you're being true to yourself, then nobody else will it won't even matter what everybody else is doing, you know, because that's out of your hands. It's out of your control. Other people's personal problems, out of your control, period. Thank you for sitting in and listening to me and respecting what I got to say. It means so much. And you know, if I don't tell everybody who watches these videos enough, thank you. And again, I hope that it inspires or enlightens others to just find themselves. And remember, the motto for this video is to set positive intentions only for yourself. If you set negative intentions for yourself, you didn't get it from me. And so don't come back on my videos and say, well, I set attention for myself, you know, and this is what I said, and this is what I got in return, okay? Look, I'm just a messenger, guys. I'm just a messenger. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not religious. And how I live my life and how I go about my daily routines may vary and differ from other people. And whenever I get to a place of being comfortable to be able to speak about certain matters with people, then I will. But right now, it's just not the time in my life to do that. I'm still a work in progress, and I may, you know, present some things that God has done for me in my life, and you know, that will all come out within time. And I feel like that within these videos, y'all have got a little tidbit of where I came from and how I came up out of that. So you know, if that's not God working his ways, I don't know what is. I try to touch topics that I've experienced through personally, because that's what I'm good at. I'm good at talking about my own personal experiences and how maybe others could relate to it. Alright, so thanks everybody for watching. It wouldn't be a live video, Truthful Tuesday weekday. Tune in. However I just worded that, without it going in different directions. So, you know, that just lets you know that I can multitask, even in conversation. Yeah. So y'all have a blessed evening. Have a great week, and I'll see y'all back next week. Bye, guys.